Welcome to City Skylines Mass Transit and the City of Rock Valley. And this is going to be the last part in this series, simply because I think I've done everything I want in this city. It's grown really big. We've now passed 100,000. And I think this is always the dilemma, guys. When you build a city, when do you stop? There's no victory conditions. There's no kind of objective beyond your own personal objectives. And the question also is, do you ever stop? I mean, yes, this will be the last part, but it doesn't necessarily mean it'll be the last time I visit this city personally and do any work. I mean, I have to admit, guys, what I've done in the past is I've got a city called Waterside, which I did a Let's Play on some time ago, unlocking all the unique buildings down here. And I still go back to work on it. I mean, even recently I did some work on it after mass transit came out, because I've started to put elements of mass transit back into the city. And I think that's something that... Oh, yes, obviously this lake's filling back up again. Yeah, so that's the kind of dilemma. When do you stop? Well, I think I've reached enough on levels on this city. Oops, looks like I've got a problem here. I left my trash collection out. I better fix that straight away, guys. Otherwise I'm going to get disease. And I think we'll just... Yeah, a bit of a fail there, guys. Just going to speed the game up a little bit. And I thought I'd round this part off just by looking at the city and having another go at fixing this problem here between these two, this minor city and the main city. Obviously I've got a massive amount of demand for transporting industrial goods, but to do this, guys, I'm going to do something else which I've also done when I've built a large city, and that is I've installed a mod. It's called All Spaces Are Available, and what that actually does is it allows me to buy all 25 tiles around the map. So what I'm going to do is just buy that. It takes away the 9 tile limit, and it means that if you wanted to, you could literally purchase, say if I purchase this, I've got loads of cash, you could purchase all 25 tiles around here and let the city grow right out. And so I could have even more minor towns down here, but well, I think I can just leave that for the moment. And just gonna fix that water problem as well. And the reason well, besides the fact that I've unlocked, I wanted to show you guys that you could play on all 25 tiles. The other reason is that what I want to do is effectively put a road in. I know I've avoided it, but I think I need to do it. And what I'm thinking of is, because if I come down here and if we click here, oops, no, I don't want that. You will see that there's quite a lot of vehicles coming in here, but there's also quite a lot coming round this area here. So obviously there's a lot of flow of traffic of people, you know, going out to deliver to this area. And I think if I click afterwards, that gives you a better idea. The reason that it changes because this side is where the vehicles are coming from to deliver to the station, and of course this is the converse, and I think this shows that it's even more busier here, but there's not that much coming in and out of the city. Most of the traffic is coming down here to deliver a lot, even down as far as here. What I've got to do is encourage my residents to kind of make a connection. And what I'm kind of thinking, guys, is I want to kind of improve this area here. We've got a connection here. I put this kind of a little spur in here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start. I know these buildings have done a lot of wandering around. And I think I'm going to wander a little bit further again. I think maybe we can take them over here. What I want to do is just make a little bit of space in this area. Because what I want to do is put a secondary roundabout here. So let's get this in. And yeah. Maybe if we come in from this point. Let's get a 160 in here. I'm just gonna wind this up. See where these constructions make a big difference. So we're going to upgrade it. Straight away to like that. I think what I'm going to do is, and I think I want you no, that's, I think we can just get in there. Let's take this out here. And that there. What I'm going to do is take out that road there. And hopefully that can, and that will immediately bring the traffic down to here. So instead of all the traffic filtering off into this area, we're now going to get a flow of traffic down into this area. And we're going to take that off. Of course, now we're going to go for the big one. And I think what I want is a dual arrival over here, and maybe we try and get a line up, say something about there, and I think we will connect in this area first. Again, I'm just going to go nice and freestyle. Could, I mean, this is the way out up here. I mean, I could okay. I knew I shouldn't have put it there. Okay. Zoom. I think if we kind of, no, I'm feeling that it's this underground here. Okay, so I can't come in there. What we're gonna have to do is kind of come off here. We will. I don't like that, guys. Just maybe this end were my inclination is bring this road in that way, and I think we can connect. There's a park there, so pick that up and move it maybe down to there. Now, one quick tip, guys, when you're going to do this, save your game. Make a save game, because when you embark on something like this, it can all go very, very terribly wrong. And I mean terribly wrong. You could spend a lot of time doing this and it will become total rubbish. I mean, I've done it many times. I've done something like this and it's just not worked. So always do a save game. Oops, no. Okay, we're going to keep this. The question we're going to get now is, can we get this? Got that connected up like that. Now the big question is going to be, and then I think we can. Don't like that. Now what you're trying to do is make a high-speed link. Now the way the game decides on the route a truck will take, or the required supply option, is dependent on distance and speed. So what you've got to do is come up with something that will go down. That should connect up like that. Yeah, so what trucks and vehicles decide on is the best way for them to go is distance and speed. In other words, basically it's journey time. So you can put in a really fast road, and if they see that, still believe the railway's faster, they will ignore it. But hopefully this will eventually convince other traffic to flow. And I think what we probably could do is, again, this is just a little bit of a test. Could do is just bring a road in like that, and then that will mean that vehicles wanting to deliver to this area should come down through this route. So this is the fast highway going out that way. Could probably come out that way. Trouble with taking roads up off of bridges is that it can be a bit messy. And of course this is going to follow here. So I think we can get you under the power lines, get you up. Oops. And again, this is why I'm saying is always got it. Okay. I think what we may have to do is go down, that road, what, like that, See straight away, guys, how busy this section's going. But what this has effectively done, though, is pulled all the traffic away from this area, and it's actually improved the flow a little bit around here. Now the question is whether all this extra traffic here, you can see how busy this area is now that I've got a traffic flow into here. I mean, obviously we've still got a problem with employees, and I suppose what we could do is just try and encourage a bit of growth by demolishing a few buildings. It takes quite a lot of pressure to get the city to rebuild and reconstitute the kind of buildings when it's got pressure like this. So I think maybe what we will do is see if we can get a little bit more kind of growth going in this area. Just get back to oops, yeah, oh, I would leave a one-way road in there. Just come in here like that. Maybe a little bit like that, because we got massive demand for, and maybe we'll just put a little bit of there. Have to check water supply, and of course maybe we can come out a bit more like this on this side, and just going to drop. And again, I think we'll just leave the one-way road system in. My obsession with building one-way roads is the main reason why I used to use a mod so much in the past, because I just have this habit of, especially when I'm picking up the road with trees, in the sense that you can just click there, that I always pick on, and that's not really nicely. And there's a few people walking through. Let's just have a quick look at the metro. So it's just there. Yeah, there's not that many people. I think probably because all these offices I put in here. Maybe if I dezone a few of these offices, and maybe if I put a road straight through there, that will encourage people, a few more people. Oh, looks like there's a little bit of a rush here now, and hopefully these people will start to come over and work in this area. I mean, obviously there'll be more so you can see the private vehicles coming in here, so there's probably a little bit of a lack of transport. Now we've got a demand for commercial. My inclination is to keep expanding and growing this area. Of course, there's this little area here that I created, experiment. I think maybe we can just come out like that, come back like that. No, I don't want to connect like that. Maybe we can connect like that. You can just zone in some heavy commercial like this. I mean, when the city gets to this size, guys, you're now working purely on your personal aesthetic, what you want the city to look like, what you want it to do. You know, because I say there are no victory conditions in City Skylines. It's still a lot of traffic flowing here, though. You can see here that the preference is still very much on vehicles using this. And what I'm going to see is if this will work, guys. If I guys. Oops. Now I've reduced this to a slower road, and what I'm interested now to see if that will, because this is a slower road through here, whether this will actually increase the amount of traffic through here. I mean, it could have something to do with the fact that this road comes down through here and then it goes past and has a spur like that, so that, but the train station is in the middle here. But all you can do, guys, is just watch this, the city in it, and you can see it's, I think it's starting to, the balance is starting to shift now a bit, guys, now away from this area, and this is actually starting to flow a little bit, but obviously this road is getting busy now. Look, it's still green, it's not too bad. Oops. Problems here. And I think that's about all the major work I'm going to do on the city. I think what we can do is just sit back and enjoy it. You can see here the detail, because again, this is part of the pleasures of the city, is just having a look round, seeing how it goes. All the donut trucks coming in here. I think this looks worse than what it actually is, because you probably find that, oops, no, if I click out here, you can see a lot of these trucks aren't actually delivering exports. What they are is they are returning to the, there's one there, tractor. So a lot of these trucks are vehicles that have come in here. So if I click here and deliver, and they're returning. So a lot of these surplus trucks are the result of the massive rush that I had through the railway here. And of course, this is something you need to remember, guys, is that every delivery truck goes out, delivers, and then returns to its factory or the station that it came from. So there's actually like a big circular trip. Also, trucks, if you follow them, if we kind of put a follow on this truck, they will often make multiple deliveries. So if we kind of follow this truck through, I mean, it'll probably do one delivery. There we are. It's actually gone to another station. That one did. But now you can see it's come back out, and it's now making its way back to the cargo terminal. And you can see it can do some very, very strange routes sometimes. Of course, this is where the one-way system works against me now, because this truck has to come all the way out here, across this junction here, round, and there you are. It's going back to the station, of course, and that's the queue. So that's the kind of multiple round trip that trucks do. I mean, let's see if we can find another one over here. Oh, this is a bit more an example. And again, this is something you need to do, guys, especially if you're new to the game and you want to learn about the mechanics, is just spend some time following vehicles around. Well, this is pre-traffic manager, but it's still a very useful technique. If you just follow a vehicle or a person round, you get an idea of how the city goes. So you can see how far this truck, this hot dog van, is actually doing. You can see he's done one delivery, and he's now blocked by the hearse there. And you can see he's off again, and he's off to fashionable shop. Let's do it that way to stop it flickering. And he's now in here. So this is his second delivery. I don't know where fashionable shop is. It's probably, there it is. He's done his delivery. now, of course, what he's got to do is return to the cargo terminal. Means he's coming out here, and of course the higher speed road draws his attention. Looks like we've got a little bit of a backlog queue building up here. And he's going to come down under this bridge and back to the terminal. So you can see these vehicles wander really far. It's not a straightforward delivery system. Anyway, I think that's enough, guys. He's basically on his way back to this terminal. And that's how the mechanics work, guys. It's getting pretty busy up here. And let's just have a look on this side. And again, if you probably click on a lot of these are all vehicles returning to the facility. So they're coming here and they're going back in again. But they're not actually creating a return traffic, because technically all the trains coming in here should be just delivering. Let's have a quick check. I'm a bit worried about that fact that, yeah, so 100% train. Again, you can follow the trains, guys. And it comes there, and what it should do is disappear, because there's nothing to go back, because this area produces nothing. Oh, death wave here. That's the crematorium here. Yeah, we do not have a crematorium covering this side of the city. Okay, let's get... Again, people die in industrial and commercial areas. So it's something you need to remember. I've also put this station in over this side. And what that does is... I've got no idea where that goes actually now. I can't remember. You can see here, this is a super distance travel area here. And I think that acts purely in a role. Actually, what we could do, this station isn't really doing much now that the traffic's being built in. Maybe what we could do is, if I connect this up, bring it down. Maybe what that will do is draw people, trucks that want to deliver to this side of the city, because that would be a far shorter journey. Again, if I show it to you, get down. And again, this is another little dodge you can do, guys, is you can create these vast underground lines. They've got another bit of a death wave coming in here. Let's have a quick check. I mean, don't be too paranoid about death waves, guys. I mean, they happen, and you can just manage them. And they're often caused by rapid growth within your city. And like I said in the last part, if you place these large monuments and they create a surge of population, you will get a corresponding death wave as all the people that were brought into your city start to die off, is probably the polite way of saying it. Oops. Connect that up. Bit of a fail there, guys. Just check the water. Yep, the water's good. And hopefully got fire problems here. Bit of a fire. Yep, we got no fire coverage. Okay, let's get... And we've got no police coverage up here either. Get a bit of a fail here. And of course, these buildings will not be. So you've got to delete them, unless of course you've got the mod that auto deletes abandoned buildings and fires. Obviously there's still a little bit of an issue here. So a quick look at Metro. I think I might do is create a reverse line like that. That might help the situation a little bit, because it means that people will travel back round this way rather than having to come this way. I mean, I could... I mean, this is flowing, and there are people travelling along this line up to there. Well, that's something that needs working on. I mean, I could expand this area because I've now got this great big tile here. In fact, I could do that actually, guys. This, I think probably the way to deal with this is I hook this up here, that's in there, come out like that, and then I can hook this up here, get it away from my population center. And then it will then let me build this area out here. Let's just upgrade this to 2.8 back to like this. We'll get some more people living in this area. Maybe like this, and of course we'll have that. Fill this area in like that, and again I think I will just drop a footpath across like this. Connect up this area like that. Just check the zoning, get the zoning out, keep growing the town up like this. Eventually this will grow up, and this is the way to keep feeding people into this area. Not enough workers here. And as this area gets bigger and bigger and more people move in, eventually this will get absorbed and things will work. And people will move in. Anyway guys, I think this is where I'm going to wind it up. I know I've got a little bit distracted, and as I said, I'm just going to go back to here. I think this is working quite well now. The road here, it hasn't become overloaded. I think it was enough just to pull away the surplus from the station, but the station is still functioning, but it's now functioning without pressure. And of course we've got this second one here which is helping, and we've now got a proper flow of trains across here, which is still drawing in there, but the traffic levels now dropped, and this area is here, but you can see the fact that there's not that much in the way of imports coming into the area. Just got this kind of, but I think that's working. It's not particularly the best laid out road that I've ever done. And again, this is something you can do, guys, is once you've proven the concept and you're happy with the fact that it's working, you can always come back, tweak this, tidy it up a bit, make it look a bit more, you know, so that it flows. Oh, actually, I do quite like that, actually. I mean, it is a bit, don't like that dip, but that sometimes when you get a transition between two elevated ways, you get a little dip like that, it can be a bit tricky to get this to line up. I mean, I'd probably have to take out this whole section and relay it again. But I think it's done the job, and I think that's the key factor. This second roundabout makes the difference. If I just tried to spur more roads off of this area, it would have just become a bit of a mess. I think by having the second roundabout here, that's acted as a distribution node, not just to this road, but it's also to this area here, and it's pulled down a lot of the traffic that was kind of coming off through here and down here is now kind of pulled off, and what I've effectively made now is this area here into kind of a mega kind of goods distribution area, is probably the polite way of saying. I mean, it would be really, really cool if you could have a multi-platform station, but then you'd still have this problem with the trucks coming in and out. Here we are, guys. I'm just going to run over the city as I talk about, and I'd like to thank you for watching the series. Hope you found it interesting. In my next series, and there will be a series, because there's going to be a short break while I take my summer holiday. It's only a week. I'm not one of the world's great holiday fans, and the next project's going to be a winter map. Because there's some interesting concepts of such as heating and all that, although I can show you guys that you can actually have heating in this city. Heating is not restricted totally to, if I draw that there, you can see here, oops, nope. Heating is not restricted totally to, if I connect that up and let it connect, you will see there, and you can actually put a boiler in. Totally impractical, but you can actually have heating in the city. It's not restricted completely to snowfall. I mean, why you would want that, I don't know, because the temperature doesn't drop and you're just paying for something that's actually run. But in the next project we will be investigating the heating mechanic for the city, and I think I don't know if there's a heating overlay, I can't remember where it is now. Yeah, here's the heating overlay, and you can see the city's a little bit warm. I mean, it's a bit impractical really, but that's something we'll be looking into in the next series on the winter map. Also, the theme is going to be European, because this is very much a high-rise city, and it looks cool, but I think we'll build with a different theme. We'll have a European theme, something that's a bit not quite so high-rise, but maybe we'll be looking at something that maybe it's a bit alpine-y, and maybe if things go well, I'll bring in some assets. Maybe we'll get a bit of a winter wonderland type theme going with that city, but that's all for the next project. And so all I want to do, guys, is thank you for following the series. Hope you found it interesting. Hope you kind of shared or learnt something about building City Skylines, and maybe it's given you confidence to go for to build a city of 100 or maybe even 250,000, because in truth, once you've got to 100,000, getting to 200,000 is more a question of nurturing your city, getting it to grow, dealing with all these traffic congestion issues you can see that are building up here. But there is a degree of satisfaction of building a really big city. But I'm starting to get distracted again, guys, so this is where I'm going to leave it. Hope you enjoyed the series. Hope you enjoyed this video. And until next time, whatever you do, enjoy your gaming.